Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Mental Awareness Podcast. My name is Nathan and I will be your all-time host as we discuss or as we keep the podcast rolling on. With me here, I have a guest and her name is Ruth. Hi, Ruth.
And thanks for having me. Thank you for having me today.
Okay. Welcome to the Mental Awareness Podcast. As you may know from the very name that we call it, we are talking about mental health. And of course, mental health is not something that is small. It's broadened. It cuts boundaries from relationships to finance to anything that you can put across. Mental health is one thing that will put across all those boundaries. So you being a lady, actually I'm very comfortable talking to ladies. So you being a lady, I want to focus on relationships. And I'm a man. I want to get something from you as a female. You bring it on the table, and me as a man, and other men that are listening out there that can actually go through this thing. So I want to talk about men in a relationship. I don't know if you're dating. I'm not going to ask you about that. A man who is dating, how would you look at such a one who comes to you as a boyfriend, is your man, is your husband? He comes to you, he feels vulnerable, and he cries. You as a lady, would you see that as a weakness, or you would look at it like, oh, he's just expressing his emotions and he feels comfortable being vulnerable in my presence? How do you look at that?
On my side, for me, when a man comes to me, showing me how vulnerable they are, for me, I would actually consider that to say this person is comfortable around me. This person feels safe. That person feels like I'm their home and I'm able to offer them open arms. For most girls or some ladies, they think that when a man comes to them crying, he's weak. But that shouldn't be the case. Just because he's a man doesn't mean he doesn't have fear. We all have our own battles that we suffer, that we fight with and everything.
Exactly.
So when a man comes to you crying, asking for help, or showing you his vulnerable side, it's something that you should even be proud of, to say, oh, this person has seen me as someone who we can open up to. You should even see that as an opportunity to say, okay, what's in me that has made this person come to me?
Come again. What's in
me
that has made this person
come to me?
Wow.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It should also make you think. It's also a sign to say I am a people's person. I
am a people's person.
Yes.
But yes, you are a people's person, but you're talking about your man.
Yes.
Okay.
It's sometimes it's just a thing where, for men, how I've got to understand men. Some men, it's hard for them to just come open up to you. It's hard for them to open up to you. You might be okay, you might be friendly with other people, but for them coming.
And do you know why? Sorry to cut you short. Do you know why? I'm sorry. Do you know why? Talking from a man's point of view, do you know why it is very hard for me to come to you and open up if you're my woman? We are always scared that, one, you will judge us. You will look at us like, oh, he cries, he's a weakling. Before we get to the next question, I want you to look at a man. Of course, you've mentioned to say he feels home and he feels like you are the safest place that he can go to. When he wants to feel vulnerable, he can go to you. But the society in our time, it has a notion. Raising a young boy who grows into a man from a very young age, they tell them to say, men don't cry. Whether to you or to anyone in the society. If today you beat a 5-year-old child, or something hurt him, the society will say, you are a man, you are not supposed to cry. In other ways, they will tell you to say, or in other ways, it means that you're supposed to suppress that emotion. Sometimes, it may not be exactly like he wants to cry, the tears are rolling, his voice is loud. Sometimes it's that thing where he comes to you and then he complains about, like, how do you look at that?
Sorry, how again?
It may not necessarily be that he comes to you and he cries, he sheds his tears. As they say, people cry differently. Others, it's in silence. Others, it's in seclusion. Others, it's in coming to you as a woman or as his woman, and he feels vulnerable. So when he comes to you, he feels vulnerable. Let me put it this way. Won't you look at it like something that you can get today and use it to fight against him in the years that come?
On that part.
Your mic, please.
Or on that part.
Yeah.
You go actually deeper. So on my side, as someone who understands to say people have different emotions, and we as a whole, whether male, female, we all have emotions. We have how we express them in different ways. So as someone who has understood that part, I wouldn't use that against them in future, no. But for others, because they haven't understood to say a man and a woman, we are all the same when it comes to emotions. They might use it against him in future. And because they might use it against him in future, as others have experienced, that's why it even makes it more difficult for men to actually come to us and show.
I like that one.
Show us their vulnerability.
I like that one.
Okay.
On the Mental Awareness podcast, both men and women are listening. I want you to talk to the female audience. What advice would you give them if a man today came to them vulnerable and he cries to them? What would you tell your fellow women that are listening out there, our viewers?
Okay. My advice to my fellow women, when a man comes to you showing you his vulnerability, do not take advantage of it or laugh at him or think as if he's weak. No, it's actually a sign to you to show that, okay, I am a good person. This person feels comfortable around me. And it's actually a check when it's a bonus. When your man feels comfortable around you, they feel you have created a safe environment for them to express their emotions. You are their home. In short, that is, if you are married, that is home. That's what we call complete home.
Okay.
Your man shouldn't go outside as showing his vulnerability to other people. If he shows it to you, it's actually a bonus. Then that person trusts you enough, finds you compatible enough for him. So you shouldn't use that against him in future. Start saying, now, hey, that's why you cried that day. That's why you cried. You're weak. You're what? According to what I know or what I understand, men are actually weaker in terms of handling hardship mentally than us women. So words can actually break a man.
Like that. I like that one. How did you know that men are actually weak in handling the mental pressure? It's just something that you've seen.
Yeah,
I'll give you an example. Let's put it this way. I'll give you an example. If a man finds his... let me put it this way. If a woman finds a man cheating, well, I'm not promoting cheating, but she will easily handle it. If a man finds his woman cheating, I can rest assure you, it will be chaos. I don't want to mention a series of the repercussions that can come after that, but I can rest assure you that it will be chaos. And by the way, men don't forgive cheating. Did you know that? So continue with your point. Sorry to interrupt you. Continue with the point.
Okay. Yes, the men handle such issues differently. So your words can actually make a person actually break the person. So we have to be careful in how we handle these issues. Because some men that you see walking around, they may seem devastated. If we were to go closer to them and ask, say, what happened? You find that there's a woman behind it. And what's the reason? She said something to me. And I'll never forget what she said. So if a man comes to you, don't use those words against him. Don't use that moment against him in future. After, just embrace it and make him feel happy that she came to you. He opened up to you and decided to share that moment with you.
I love it because you're speaking like you are getting into the mind of, do you have brothers? Maybe you have brothers. And You've known men just too much. I can rest assure you, men, starting with myself, if I come to you and I feel vulnerable and you get my vulnerability, you put it as a weapon, as a bullet, and it exits your barrel. Believe me, you will never hear from me again. And it's the rest of, it's almost all men are like that. If you use whatever he has told you at his vulnerable or in his vulnerable time, that comes back as a weapon against him. You've closed the chapter. The rest of these times, he's never ever going to talk to you about his vulnerability. Actually, you may think that he's giving you silent treatment. He's maybe he has a side chick. And I like the point where you said, if he comes to you, he feels vulnerable. So it means that he has seen it competent that you are his safe space. Because I can rest assure you, when he goes to other people to feel vulnerable, it means that those people have won him over emotionally. And you know what happens when somebody wins you over emotionally? Everything around you is taken. You don't even notice how you fall into their arms. Sooner or later, you find yourself to say you cannot have hard conversation with your woman. So I like it how you've put it. I like how you've put the discussion across, and it really talks to both men and the women out there. Well, one last word. What would you advise somebody who's going through a mental health crisis? Anyone, man or woman, what advice would you give them?
Like, advice is first, pray about it. Pray about it, because having a mental disorder or a mental problem isn't something that is easy. It's actually like slow poison. Then again, seek advice. Find someone who you can trust and confide in. Some problems are best solved when you share them. The person might not offer you a solution or anything, but just letting it out your chest, it's just there. You feel better, you feel relieved. Then in other cases, others will go to you, psychiatrist, to get better help and everything. Do what you can. And if you see you have certain mental problems that come about because of you being alone, just avoid being alone. Just avoid. Go out, have fun, explore. Have this on that. Yes. Thank you.
Oh, thank you very much, Ruth. We hope that next time you will come on the Mental Awareness Podcast. We look forward to having a great conversation. Of course, this was a great one, and I'm so sure that our viewers will like the content that you've brought to us here. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this was Ruth on the podcast. We are yet to bring you another guest in a short time. So thank you very much, and keep yourself updated. Keep us watching. Thank you very much.